self-doubt is kind of like having poison in your system. It starts off small, you don't really notice the effects, but the more the poison spreads through the system, the more it corrupts, the more it kills, the more it destroys, the more it takes away from us. The quickest way for you to basically destroy anything you're working towards is to entertain your self-doubt. It sort of starts off as this little bit of a whisper, and the more we strain to hear what it has to say, the closer we lean in and listen, the louder the voice becomes. And before we know it, self-doubt has taken away or destroyed everything that we've worked for. Self-doubt is really a massive buzzkill. If you want to take your energy from up here to way down there, just entertain your self-doubt. You know that beautiful sparkly energy that we all have? If you entertain or listen into or pay attention to your self-doubt, that sparkle seems to kind of get this dull quality to it. It doesn't shine quite as bright, because it's almost like the self-doubt comes and puts this blanket over or hides away our sparkle. It shields our sparkle from the world. So what does the energy of self-doubt feel like? If I tune into my own body as I'm talking to you about self-doubt, I have this really heavy feeling that starts coming up in my stomach area, my solar plexus region, and it's almost like the muscles and everything in that area are starting to really like squeeze up and tighten up, and it doesn't feel very good. I also start to feel like this pressure, this weight on my shoulders, and it's almost like I'm being pushed down, weighed down by the energy of self-doubt. So just imagine for a moment that you have this amazing idea, this amazing thing that you want to do in the world. And you have this beautiful, sparkly, bright energy when you think about it and when you talk about it. And then this little whisper starts, this little self-doubt starts to trickle in. What happens to that amazing, sparkly energy? You know, right? It starts to disappear. And before you know it, poof, sparkle's gone, and all that's left is this heavy, yucky feeling. If you know anything about the sacral chakra, then you'll know that this is your power center. And so I find it extremely interesting that as soon as I start talking about self-doubt, physical sensations start activating in this region. It isn't really a coincidence, you know. When we connected to that amazing idea and our sparkle is alive, we feel alive. But when we start entertaining the self-doubt, it's like our power is taken away from us. We become disempowered. Our self-doubt arises from years of listening to other people tell us who we are, what we can do, and how we should show up in the world. Doesn't that just sound so crazy? I mean, really, why would we ever listen to anyone else tell us who we are, what we can do, and how we can show up in the world? Surely we know that better than anyone else could possibly know. The problem is that when this listening starts, we're so young. We don't have the discernment. We don't have the filters in place to really kind of give these blocks and say, no, that's not me, that's not me. And we just kind of allow all of this stuff to come into our space and to filter into our consciousness, into our subconsciousness, into our thoughts, into our energy field. And before long, we've got all these little niggly pieces all over telling us who we're not, who we can't be, how we can't show up in the world. And this is where our self-doubt comes from. Yes, I know, it can be so tough, right? Because it's not like you consciously think about it. It's not like you want to be self-doubtful. It just kind of creeps into your space and just ruins everything for you. But what I wanted to share with you today is something really exciting, something really juicy. See, deep down in there, on a soul level, we know the truth. We know the truth in our hearts, and we know the truth in every single cell throughout our entire being. All we need to do is to reconnect with it, to find a way to hear it again, to be able to listen to it again, to feel it again. And it all starts with awareness. Awareness of when you have slipped back into, when you have allowed the self-doubt to creep into your space again. You see, because when you're aware, you can make a change. In every moment, we have a choice about how we react, about how we show up in the world, about what type of energy we want in our space. And the energy of self-doubt doesn't feel very good. It feels pretty crappy, right? I spent years working with young kids, and when they were too small to have the verbal skills to actually stand up for themselves and really tell people, no, this is not okay, one of the things that we taught them was to put up their hand and kind of say, stop, I don't like this. And what I want to encourage you to do is to start noticing, start becoming aware of when you have allowed that critic, that inner critic, that self-doubt to really creep into your space, and just stop and just say, no, not anymore. This is no longer me. This is not like me. From this moment forward, I choose a different way. I choose a different way to be. I choose a different way to show up. I choose to connect to a different energy, an energy that serves me, an energy that lifts me, an energy that lights me up, an energy that brings my sparkle into the world in the most magical and authentic way. Be really aware of your power center, of anything going on where you feel disempowered, because these are your triggers. These are the ways for you to notice that something has disconnected you from your power, and then become aware. What's going on for me right now? Where have I allowed my thoughts to slip into this negative, self-doubtful, critical space? And what choice am I going to make in this moment to be in a space, to be in an energy that I choose, that I need, that I deserve? You have the power to choose in this moment a way of being that is so beautiful, so connected to your heart space, so connected to your soul. So choose it. Have a beautiful and magical week.